My name is Elif, and I'm playing Countess Isidora, and I am also the director of events for Immersive Art Collective.
My name is Rachel Adams. I'm the founder of Immersive Art Collective.
I'm Michaela. I played Meggie, and I am the director of programs of Immersive Art Collective.
My name's Libby Rose. I play Serrana.
I'm Angel Duque and I play Alec Armani.
I'm Marissa Patello and I play Andrea Armani.
I'm Nick Salas and I play Ned.
So this is a collaborative production. Every actor has created their own character, and me and Elif have built the skeleton of this show, and we rely on our collective, our performers that are casted in our events to really build the meat on that skeleton. And I think for this show they did a really great job. Each one has really put in a lot of work. I really credit a lot of just the performances, the interactions, the organic banter back and forth with each other, all to the cast. We all kind of direct together, and we write together, and we play together. And that's the beauty of this show. We have fun together. We feed off of each other, and I think that's why it makes it such a great production for us anyway. We hope it's a good production for the audience, of course, but we definitely put ourselves first to make sure we're having a good play.
And I love like the improvisational aspect of it, like not needing to memorize lines, where it's just like paint yourself with a character you've created and then be that character. Like we all play off of each other, just like creating the show. It's different every single time because of that, because every interaction is going to be a little different.
Every person here knows their character so deep that you can improv and you don't look like an idiot to the audience members.
Yeah.
Like it is very deep knowing what you're doing so that you can relax a little bit, stretch out in it. But these people know their characters like they would know themselves. How you go about it is, you could create a character that is so not your own. It could be somebody that is very different than me, because after all we are all actors and we should be able to do that. But when you are given the freedom of your character, you are adding a little bit of yourself in it. So Countess Isidora is, she has seen some troubles. She is not, she's flamboyant, but she's owning it. And she's a kind of acting and leaning into her character because she has gone through some hard times. Her home is slightly falling apart. She's not that rich. She knows she's old-timey. She's trying to fit in with the new people. And she has children that resent her. But she's trying to put the family together. Now, I'm a 50-year-old woman with a 17-year-old child, and if I say that this is not a familiar person to me, I would be lying.
No, like Serrana is definitely like all of my worst instincts that I'm just able to like, oh, it's not me, it's the character.
well, Serrana's interesting because we were at a local bar that we like to hang out at called Idle Hour. You know, I was kind of hoping for a character that had a bit of a Wednesday Addams type vibe, kind of teenager, angry. And that's how I met Libby, was through Elif. And Elif is like, hey, let me introduce you to this actor and get to know them.
And she was like on the phone, she's like, really?
That one, I mean, why are they so moody? And why are they so this? What? But I was like, I hate her so much that I want to cast her.
True story.
True story.
Yeah. Okay, I'm learning this for the first time.
No, I told you this. No, meaning like your personality took me back so much of like, this is a character. This is someone that like I don't know if I want to befriend or I'm kind of scared to befriend, but also they intimidate, but also extremely sexy while doing it. That I was like, okay, yeah, no, I can totally see them in the Count's Den. And then to kind of go back of where you asked, how did the Count's Den get their characters and the lore of it? This is going on about 4 years now.
More, yeah.
Longer than 4 years now, where the Count's Den has this continuous storyline of characters. And so we all know that. We have characters that aren't even in this show, that when we brought new characters in, we related them to old characters and have this continuous storyline that consistently goes through, that we're all aware of. I love you. But really, you had everything that creates a character that what we need here. And in that, I've grown to love you so much. Yeah. Personally. Personally, I love you. But like Serana is a little bit off-putting.
But she's broken.
Yeah.
There is something broken in her. That
We can all relate to our characters, okay?
We can all relate. Can we start
It's not a shallow. It is not a shallow show that is like, oh, a bunch of vampire with fake teeth, you know, a bunch of actors like having fun. It is there. There is sometimes sadness. There is resentment. There is fighting. There is like bitchiness, but there's loss of love. And we put like this Christmas dinner or something else that sounds like really light and happy. But when you're talking as the character, like I was talking about some people having children, like it can go really deep because it's an immersive show too.
It's a true dysfunctional family, but you add the vampirism into it.
Yeah.
Where maybe some killings happen, and that's completely normal in their world. So we're bringing mortals into this dysfunctional family that they're already familiar with, but we're building on that in a very fantastical way.
I like the like fantastical, like expanding on it in a fantastical way while also really grounding it in realism, like catfish, which is a very like relevant thing that's happening today.
Exactly.
That is like in a vampire world, you know. I think
Oh, it's also relatable.
So for me, it was something that was very new because this was well, with Immersive Arts Collective, it was the first time that I did anything like, well, immersive, like where you actually have like the audience there with you within the story itself. I did get to do a nice practice with you guys before with Gig from Hell. That was super fun. And I think that one really helped me prepare to see what this was going to be. This one has definitely been a lot more in depth with the character itself, with the interactions that we've had, with the stuff that we have planned in the back for the guests that decide to go away with us for a little bit of fun.
For me, I've been doing immersive for a few years now, and this was sort of a breath of fresh air. You know, there's like really like dark immersive theater where it's like really dramatic, or this is just a really like fun way to play.
We're more of a family here
It was
opposed to
fun.
like a corporate entity.
Doing a show that is fun and light. Not
Yeah,
that-
it doesn't have to be scary all the time. Immersive doesn't have to be
Yeah.
all horror all the time.
That's
The
kind of
horror
hard.
doesn't have to be so harsh.
Yeah.
Ned's character was, I mean, we had a process in which, like, we started with, like, the first couple of rehearsals where kind of everyone was on Zoom and everyone kind of got a chance to develop their characters. And we kind of figured out that there would be this thing between, I mean, there's two things that are kind of propelling the story forward in this episode, the twins, and then this thing between Ned and Maggie. And so it was actually it was fun to use the established dynamic between like the existing family. So from the character perspective, it was incredibly intimidating for someone like Ned. But like actually as actors, there's these really cool surprises that come from like working with everyone, where everyone's kind of supporting each other, and like we're kind of like throwing each other lobs. and it creates these surprises where we're able to kind of just riff off of each other and create these like really funny moments that can't be scripted.
So I'm an existing family member, but what's interesting for Maggie is that she is a new family member. So in the last show, in Bite, that was just Bite, she was a part of the audience. So she was turned during that show. So she's only been a vampire for 2 years, because it was about 2 years ago that we did that show. And so she has just, there's so much fodder for that, because there's just so much that she has to learn. She's like a whole new creature now. She has to deal with immortality. She has to deal with being with a whole new family. And like,
It's all a metaphor for puberty.
no, actually, I mean, I kind of relate it to like coming out a little bit, because Maggie's character, like, she's from Salt Lake City, like, she's ex-Mormon, she never really fit in, but like now she has this chosen family that like she kind of stumbled into, and she realizes like this is like her true family. And so I kind of relate that to just like the queer experience, actually, now that I think about it. So yeah, it's once again like it's just another theme in the story that like is really relatable.
Yeah, I think people are eager to get social again.
Yes.
People and audience coming to an immersive experience like this, especially dealing with dinner and drinks, are more so open and wanting to be social. I'm realizing we're getting a lot of solo ticket sales of people just themselves showing up, wanting to be social, and I think we're filling a need. I think the pandemic has changed immersive theater in that sense, where it's kind of wanted more and needed more, almost needed, just socially, and to fulfill that mental and emotional exchange with someone else. As for characters, like Libby mentioned, yeah, it's kind of weird probably for actors to not be social for a long time and mostly be on our phones or computers interacting with people, and then finally being able to interact with other people again. But I personally think it's healthy and necessary. We're humans. We need that, connection.
I also think the fact that it's a holiday show adds like an extra like special layer to everything you just said, and people wanting just like not being able to celebrate last year. Like it's not like it's exciting to like finally be able to come do stuff again, but also like do something for the holiday.
Yes.
It's like extra special. So I think people are extra grateful to be here.
Yeah, I think they're happy to be here.
We did a couple of shows during when everything was shut down. That was on internet, one of them, and one of them was like a very specific. So I was in this room, for example, and we had like only one person at a time with all this stuff. So
With the masks.
yeah, with the masks and
face
everything.
shields.
Yeah.
We did a whole outside show, COVID safe.
Yeah.
This is in the heart of the pandemic.
Yeah, right in the middle of it. And we had another one online.
All online on a forum
Yeah.
where you interacted with
Yeah.
actors through
Yeah, that
text
was-
messages and videos and Zoom calls.
Live. And
And a choose your own adventure.
yes.
And a
yes.
choose your
also,
adventure. We did all
So we
film.
did three
Yeah.
shows during pandemic. The difference was that was delicate times. There was the whole shows. Every one of them had more like a somber, like you come here one by one, and I will try to connect with you as a human, although I can't come nearby you. So it changed the shows a little bit, and this is like full. Fuck it, let's have fun, like let's laugh at this whole nonsense thing. So it changed the nature of the shows. And it is the sign, it is really like the sign of its times.
It is.
Like this is what is needed right now. And the other one was what was needed then, so.
I'm gonna say, like, I think immersive is like really expanding right now because it's like the novelty drive. I know so many people that have never experienced immersive theater, so a lot of people come to this show, it's their first time like having that, and it's exciting. It's like this is very new. This is a new kind of theater, and much like where VR is growing big, like new thing. People are constantly seeking new things, and immersive theater is like a very like fresh way to look at theater.
Accounts done in my immersive theater experience prior to the pandemic was me just dipping my toes into theater, having a background in entrepreneurship and starting escape rooms with live actors, and then turning it into creating this space to actually do immersive shows. Through the pandemic and wanting to help others, really finding a need of how can we take this opportunity, in a sense, of people that need to talk to people, whether we can be online in characters, in forums, Zoom calls, all of that. And then coming out of the pandemic, where now live events can happen again. During the pandemic, I thought, I don't know if I'll still be able to do immersive theater. I don't know if I'll still have my space. I don't know if I'll have a cast. I don't know if I'll even have the financial means to do it moving forward. And with that fear of not possibly having it, and then being able to open up and try again, I wanted to come from a place of, okay, I had this realization of, where do I want to go in the next step in my life? Or what do I want to do with my life? How am I going to be impactful? The people, my grandmother died of COVID, or people getting sick. How can I be impactful with what I'm doing for work and take it to the next extent? And for me personally, I grew up in group homes most of my teenage years, residential, institutional living, and I really struggled because of that. I don't have an education. I was never able to get accredited school to go into high school. I came out of the Massachusetts social service state, and really didn't have an education, really didn't have anything set up for me. So my heart really lies in with those kids of how can I make a difference. Art has changed my life. This family has changed my life. Immersive theater has changed my life. Being able to live in different worlds, or when you're in a really tough situation, being able to go to that imagination of like, oh, what if I close my eyes and I can place myself somewhere else and just have that feeling of feeling good. I used to travel to those places all the time as a kid. And I think that's kind of what birthed me wanting to create immersive experiences for other people. And so the pandemic, because people were going through a hard time, gave me a sense of giving back. And then now kind of coming out of it has made me want to just kind of really hone in on that. And how can I help other kids in my situation that maybe when they turn 18 years old, they don't have a job lined up, they don't have an education, they don't know anything about art. So that's where IAC was born, Immersive Art Collective. That's where we got a group of artists and performers and art mentors that now we give free art workshops and partner with social service organizations. I met Michaela. Michaela is currently in school. I won't speak for her, but
yeah, I'm working on my master's in social work, so what we're doing here like perfectly aligns with my my goal, just with my life too, and it fulfills my purpose in that way too.
Let's use this space and use this location as a place that we can partner with other social service organizations, trauma centers, group homes, shelters, where we now have a collective of a lot of really talented people that have experience in different trades, whether it's FX makeup or clowning or yoga. Libby does a lot of our yoga sessions with the group
yoga and
homes and all of that.
mindfulness.
Yeah.
The things surrounding
Sorana teaches
Yeah.
such a thing.
And we can kind of share not only the workshops, but then also community. When these kids turn 18 years old, I want to, have opportunity for them to get jobs or join a collective that's an actual community and actually have friends and a connection where they're not just kind of what happened to me. It's kind of like, okay, you're just out on the street now, there's no transitional period to kind of set you up into schooling or set you up with a job. So I had to turn to other things to make money, you know? It's not that I'm not proud of them. Now looking back, it's fine, never. But I wish I had someone or something that was actually stable in my life and kept showing up to give me a trade or vision, or people showing up, that once I was turning into an adult, I could, you know, move forward in something that I was passionate about. I wish everything that I have now was given to me when I was 18. And so that's the drive, that's the purpose behind Immersive Art Collective. I want to build a community. I want to build art workshops totally free of charge so they can discover what they'd like to do, and then have people to talk to afterwards and find a family within it. In Los Angeles, it's like the one city that it's really hard to find good friends and relatability and community, you know.